Hello.
Now then, you magnificent bastard.
Now then, you magnificent bastard, and look at you repping your Mastiff shirt there, eh?
Yeah, I thought I'd better represent.
So, yeah, welcome back to the show. No longer Cancer Dan.
Yeah, cancer-free, Dan.
Yeah, awesome, man. That's brilliant. Are you cleared? Do you still have the annual visit back there, or?
No, they actually signed. They didn't tell me about it, but they signed me off during COVID actually, and
Oh, right.
yeah, so they signed me off at the 4-year point, which I thought I'd have to do 5 years, but I rang them and I was like, I'm sure I'm due an appointment with you. Like, I'm sure that's overdue. And he
Yeah.
was like, oh, we signed you off. I was like, great,
Right.
thanks for telling me.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. So I'll be 6 years in remission this May.
Wow, that's amazing. But is it seriously that long since you were on the podcast then?
6 years,
Bloody hell.
crazy.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. It seems like yesterday.
Yeah,
That's so weird. That's so
yeah,
weird. So
yeah,
how are you? Are you you're working still? Are you still at a job you can't talk too much about?
yeah. Well, I've actually I'm in the process of changing jobs. I handed my notice in on that one a couple of weeks ago, but I'm moving to a different one in a similar area that I can't really talk about too much. But
Brilliant.
yeah, but no, yeah,
Get my hopes up. Yeah.
yeah,
He gives with
yeah,
one hand, he takes away with the other.
yeah, absolutely. That's just how
Um,
I've always done things.
Fair enough. Fair
But
enough,
no,
mate.
I'm good, still working. Yeah, all good, all good.
And
Nothing
what
to
about
complain.
I mean, obviously we're gonna get onto Mastiff, but what about playing in bands? Because like the Mastiff thing was the first thing I saw. I hadn't seen, any shots of you doing any gigs with anybody. Did this come out of the blue, or were you, have you been sort of dipping your toe in?
So with my own band, with 13,
Yeah.
we we've kind of not really got off the ground since COVID. We played a couple of gigs last year, and then, I think one of the things, I mean, I think it happened to so many bands is like, because we all stopped and then we realized that we've actually got lives outside of doing music. Like, who
Yes.
knew that there
Yeah.
are actually other things going on outside of doing bands? And
Yeah.
so,
There's other ways of losing money.
yeah, exactly. Who knew it? And so, just those have kind of taken over and everything. We're still in regular contact and we're still talking about stuff. We've got a couple of gigs booked, one of which is supporting Mastiff in June. So I'm hoping that once we do those, we'll get the ball back rolling.
Yeah.
Re-Animator,
Yeah,
kind
that
of,
seems to be on the snooze.
yeah. I don't know. I suppose I don't want to say too. I think it's more Kevin John's place to kind of talk about that, but I think that's indefinite hiatus is the phrase that they like to use in it. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and I feel like everyone kind of they got to the point where they was happy with it. They were, I feel like. So if they want to do something with it in the future, then that's for those guys to decide because they're the originals, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll wait for them to start that conversation if they ever do.
Yeah.
Mastiff.
Yeah.
So
What happened there?
I've known Jim from Mastiff for quite a few years from being in. He was obviously been in Mastiff for a while, and me and my partner we bought a house in December 21, and we moved right down the road from Jim, who's in Mastiff. So when I joined the gym, I was bumping into
Hey.
Jim.
Oh, this is great work, mate. Thanks. You've
Yeah,
really done your homework for this.
the fun never starts.
Literally.
And so bumped into him there, and so I was training with him regularly. And then so their guitarist is a teacher, Phil, and they had the tour supporting Avatar booked, I think, during COVID, and obviously COVID got it cancelled a couple of times.
Yeah.
And so when they rebooked it, they asked Mastiff to play it again, and but it wasn't over half term when so Phil couldn't do it. So Jim said, well, do you fancy it? So yeah, and that's pretty much how it went. So
That's
yeah,
awesome, man.
I
That's
know.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah. It was one of the best music experiences I've ever had. I think
Yeah,
alongside
ever.
recording with Colin Richardson, I think those two things are the two peaks, I think, for me.
Yeah. Well, until you've experienced like proper touring, which is what you were doing, it's it's you've had a taste of the life though, haven't you? Is it kind of
absolutely.
that's the next point now, isn't it? It's like the craving's back. What do I do?
Yeah, exactly that. It's like I just came back, and then I think I gave myself a day off from work, and then just went straight back to it. And like I felt quite flat for maybe 3 or 4 weeks
Yeah.
afterwards. I think Jim in particular really struggled with it. Bless him. He really like did a number on him because it was such a great experience. Like even
Yeah.
nothing major went really wrong, and even the things that kind of were a little bit of a hitch weren't major. So it was just an amazing experience that we was all just a bit gutted for it to be finished with. So
Oh,
yeah,
that's brilliant, mate. That's brilliant.
yeah,
But yeah, you've got the tour blues, you know.
yeah,
It takes time to decompress when you're like traveling all the time, you're in a different city every day, and then you come thundering back to normality. It's bizarre. It's quite a lot to kind of deal with, quite a lot to
yeah,
process.
yeah, definitely. It looks like you guys have been really busy at it.
Well, we've chucked some shows in there, yeah. You know, we got 3 more this month. Well, I say this month, don't know when this is coming out. Probably be quite soon. So who knows? This month for the listener is April 2023. And if you're listening to this on a year in the future, well, you definitely fucking missed it. So yeah, that's what we're doing. We're doing some gigs. We're breaking in our new member. We're making him do things he's never done before.
And you're also making him learn songs he's never done before as well.
Well, yeah, but basically we've corrupted him. I mean,
Yeah,
you know, this is a guy who is, you know, he's a incredible. Tell you what, I'll tell you this, and you can and then you know, he was at Berkeley Music College for 5 years,
dear me.
so we
Right.
can move on. Yeah, so he's not shit.
No, no.
um, but like first gig, about halfway through the first song, his fucking guitar's gone and all the rest of it. And it's like afterwards, he's like, I mean, fucking like, no, the guitar went. And like Cookie and Pete, well, did you gaffer up your wireless unit to your strap? No. They said, that's why then. He goes, well, I've never had to before. I said, well, you haven't played thrash metal before.
Yeah, yeah.
And certainly not in this band. And then on these dates, there's been a couple of gigs where he's just been out in the crowd. He was in the pit in Newcastle on his guitar. So
brilliant.
you know, we've ruined him. We've ruined him for everyone else. Basically, he's now completely lost all semblance of professionalism,
Yeah,
and he's just a loose cannon. But
yeah.
that's what you got to be in Acid Rain.
They keep him hidden from the alumni records at Berkeley.
That's it. Yeah. No, sorry, Matt Smith. You say
Don't know
no
him.
record of him
No,
here. Which again, name Matt Smith, me, Howard Smith, no relation. He's also no relation to any famous Matt Smiths. But anyway, fuck him. He's not here. This is you. This is you. So you said, you know, you were really down, and hopefully you're out the other side of that. But
yep.
Any, you know, is that what inspired let's get 13 supporting Mastiff? You know,
No, I think one of the great things about Mastiff is they signed to E1 Entertainment, so but they conduct themselves as though they're a brand new band still. They conduct themselves. Jim's been doing music stuff for a very long time. He was around when Re-Animator would like first blew up back in the day, so he knows the guys quite well. And so
what you're saying is he's really old, so my age.
I was trying to be polite, but
don't fucking start now. That'll confuse me.
But as I say, they still conduct themselves like a new band, and they still they they still appreciate bands that are a bit more under the radar. So they've had other underground bands from Hull on their gigs and everything, and so I think we was just the kind of next ones in line, and it was kind of a bit like, you played for us on this tour, do you fancy this gig and everything? So it seems to me like it's a bit more of a big deal when Mastiff play at home,
Right.
because of the heights that they're starting to reach, and so it was just a really good thing that they've asked us to support them as well. So yeah,
it's brilliant. And what kind of what you've had to learn a whole set? What kind of music is it? Hopefully you fucking like it.
I've been a huge fan of them ever since they started. I suppose.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I was buzzing when they asked me to do it. How would you describe them? A bit more like grindcore, deathcore type stuff.
Right.
I went to see Volbeat in Leeds in January, and Napalm Death opened up for him, and
Right.
Napalm Death very much had like the small stage. There weren't any like fancy gear or anything like that, just a bunch of guys in a bunch of band t-shirts making a load of noise, and they loved every second of it. And Mastiff kind of reminds me of that a little bit, but with a bit more of a modern edge, you might say. So,
right. Okay. Cool.
yeah, they're really worth checking out. And as I say, they seem to be going places, and a really awesome down to earth set of guys as well.
Well, we'll put all their various social media links and everything in, as links in the podcast. So go looking for them, listeners, and viewers. That's cool, man. And so what was it? Was it a whole sort of like 12-song set, or how long were you playing every night?
We was playing half an hour. We was the opening band.
Right.
There
so
was
it's not a 12-song set then, I hope.
No. Well, I think there was 8 or 9 songs, because being that type of music, most of the songs are like 1.5 to 3 minutes long. Like the longest one's maybe 4.5 minutes long.
Oh, right. So you're
one of those type, smashing through it, absolutely smashing through it. Just opening every night, just giving everybody a bit of a pummeling, and then so yeah, learned all the stuff and everything. And
sorry, I'm having to move around here because I've got to plug my laptop in. Or this is going to be a very short interview. So this was the one thing that I forgot to do, and it's caught me out. Typical. And now I've realised that the power supply isn't on either. Fucking hell, this is great, isn't it? Oh. Height of professionalism as always, but and I'll leave all this in because it
makes you look more relatable.
Oh God, I don't think anything can do that, mate.
But yeah, I think they would probably describe themselves as a hardcore band. But
right, okay.
So there was us, there was Mastiff, Veil of Maya with a main support, and obviously supporting Avatar. So yeah, we did about 8 or 9 songs a night, and just smashed through them. Yeah, that's absolutely brilliant. Smashed through them. It was great,
and that's a great spot on the bill as well, and a great set length as well, because like you said, you can just go on and you can give it fucking 10-0 every night.
Yeah, absolutely. And we was really lucky in that it always worked out being a great crowd, even being first band on. The crowd was already packed out for the most part already. I don't think they sold out any of the shows, but it seemed like it was close to it most nights. And yeah, it was just awesome. Yeah, it was, and like you say, just going on first band on, just absolutely hammering it for half an hour, and then we could just go and enjoy the rest of our evening as well, and just watch the other bands and everything.
You're at a gig.
Yeah,
and the odd person tapping you on the shoulder saying, "Oh, really enjoyed your set." Doesn't hurt.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what I found, like which was a bit jarring for me, is being like I'm the kind of front man for my own band with 13. Nobody was interested in anybody else in Mastiff except Jim. We'd be stood there, and they'd be like, all of us stood at the merch stall, because we manned our own merch and everything as well, and which was really cool. But there's just people coming up to us, just to Jim, going, "Oh my God, you guys, you're amazing," then asking us to take photos of them with Jim.
Oh dear me. Yeah,
no, it was
privilege, man. Saying his
absolutely.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, but he's to be
Oh
fair, he's
dear.
a fucking mint frontman as well, and he's got a presence because he's like quite a physically imposing dude.
Yeah.
And just
Oh,
a
you
great
mean
presence.
he cheats?
Yeah, he's not as short as fuck like
Yeah, yeah.
the rest of us. So yeah, he's just got a great presence. He's a great front man. He every night, like even if there was a bit where there was a bit unsure about us because the music is that ferocious and heavy. He won him over every night. He's just so good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I look, having a good front man is an important, well, as Avatar will tell you.
Are you gonna get one?
It's an important. No, mate. No, I'm sticking with the job until someone fucking pries the microphone from my cold dead hand. But very good. I like it. Keep me on my toes. Um, but I mean, yeah, that's how it is, dude. But it's like it makes me laugh when people say like, I saw the band walking around the crowd. Oh, that's really cool of them. It's like, no, that's called an ego stroll. They are walking around. Yeah, they're walking around for a tap on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed that. Do you know what I mean?
Mm, exactly. And we made sure we bumped into as many people in the crowd as possible.
Oh, yeah, obviously, yeah.
Sorry, I
Oh,
didn't realize.
sorry.
I didn't mean to hit you as I jumped off
Yeah.
stage.
Did you see me, Mastiff, earlier? Brilliant, Matt. Brilliant. So how long were you away for in total?
It was 7 dates over 8 nights. So we did.
Yeah, that's proper. That's
Yeah.
proper.
It felt proper. It felt like we was doing it properly.
You did a solid week,
Yeah.
And the thing is, as well, and you'll know this. I'm telling you what you already know. But by the end of that week, you're like, can we do another 40 shows?
Yeah.
And also, it's like all of you are going, how fucking good are we every night now? It's like I don't even, I used to look at you in that bit now, don't even, it's everything is just clicks to an extent that it never has before. You get to a different level.
Absolutely. Yeah, we did. So we did the first 3 nights was Manchester, Nottingham, and then Glasgow. And then we came home and had a day off, and then we went back out again and we did Wolverhampton, Bristol, Southampton, and then London. London was the O2 Kentish Town, which was
lovely.
amazing. Yeah,
yeah.
And it was like it's a gorgeous venue as well. Like I was like, we were sound checking. I was like, I'm never going to do this again. Like, so I was ignoring everything else and just taking the architecture in of it and everything. Just because I'm never going to see that from that angle again.
Well, it's funny you should say that because I've been to that venue and seen countless bands there, and I've never really taken in the beauty of it. To me, it's always been just because you get in there and it's pitch black. So you just get in there, you're facing a stage, and I hadn't had that experience until just before COVID, the Bay Area Strikes Back tour, when Gene was still in Testament. So I went down there and spent the day, spent most of the day down there, and yeah, that was the first time I'd seen it. I was like, oh my god, this is like beautiful.
It's stunning. It's absolutely stunning, isn't it?
Yeah. But I must have been to 20 gigs there and never even noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
That's cool. And these are all the little bits and pieces as well, aren't they? These are all the little memories and the little things that you get to do that are that feel like a privilege when you getting to do it, to later on in your career.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I suppose I maybe appreciated it a bit more being a bit older, as well. Like, just one of those things. Like I'm 35 now. No, 34.
Oh, you poor
nearly
bastard.
35.
Oh, nearly dead, essentially.
I know.
Yeah.
Not for lack of trying.
I was Nice, yeah, absolutely.
But I've been doing like band stuff since I was like, we first started playing together, me and our bassist, when we was 15. So in fact, 20 years of playing music in groups and stuff like that. And I don't know whether or not it would have been a cool thing when I was like maybe 19 or 20, but like having done it for so long and now doing it,
Oh
I
yeah,
think I just
yeah.
appreciated it a bit more.
Well, let's face it as well. At that age, there is a bit of an air of entitlement about us anyway. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I'm meant to be here. I'm meant to be doing this. This is what I am. You know, this is it. I'm a rock star. I'm great.
Yeah.
You know, not speaking from personal experience, of course. You know, and yeah, but you're right. I mean, I'm enjoying Acid Rain second time around way more than the first.
Yeah.
Way more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's definitely you savor things, you know, not in a I wonder if this is the last time I'll ever do this kind of way, but more in a just kind of like, yeah, appreciative way.
Yeah. Well, funnily enough, like somebody filmed our Kentish town set and it's on YouTube and everything. But I remember watching it from the stage as well, Jim, towards the end of the set, and he just kind of he had a like a whiskey in his hand. And he just kind of stopped a minute and people had just kind of calmed down from like clapping and cheering and stuff. And you see, like, it's on the video and he's just going, I'm sorry, I'm just taking this in because we're never going to do this again. So it was quite a profound moment. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it really was. And the fact that he kind of acknowledged it on stage and I feel like that kind of brought people in a bit more as well. Just,
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. When you share that kind of moment, because if you're having a moment and you know, rule number one, if you're having a moment, share it with the audience. Otherwise they wonder what the fuck's going on.
yeah, yeah,
So and you're right, absolutely. That is a kind of like, oh, moment.
yeah,
Do you
yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean? Even if
yeah,
someone, and the beauty of that as well is, even if someone's not enjoying your band, even if someone's going, oh, you know, fuck these guys, can't wait for the finish. And then even they're going to go, all right, fair enough. Or just good, you know.
good,
Never going to do this again. Good.
yeah,
Didn't enjoy
good.
it when you did do it.
Didn't want you here in the first place.
Yeah. Who the fuck are you again?
Yeah. Yeah.
So was there, and were there any moments, speaking of this kind of moment, were there any times where you were kind of like, wow, you know, I guess, you know, you've been free 6 years, as we were saying. Do you ever have those moments still where you go, oh, do you know what? I wouldn't have done this or that or these, or if I hadn't got through what I've been through.
Um,
Or have you kind of left it in the bin and gone, do you know what? Balls to that.
I don't know if I had any moments where I thought like I don't think I had anything where I was like, oh, I nearly didn't get to do this, but there was. It's what's the way to kind of say it? It's always there as like it's a good for me. So it's a good thing for me if I'm ever not sure about something or if I'm ever kind of like feeling like stressed out about something or it's a really good thing to go, you've been through that shit, like this is fuck all, like.
Yeah.
And so there was maybe a couple of times where like especially the first couple of nights and like for me like playing Rock City in particular. I remember one of the very first gigs
Oh
that I
yeah.
went to was
Another great venue.
yeah, and I'd seen Megadeth there, and that was one of like the formative
Yeah.
gigs of my interest in music was seeing Megadeth at Rock City. And so like I like we was like I'm playing fucking Rock City, like, and so like there was a bit of nerves and everything, and but then I was like fucking like I suppose going through all of that's given me a bit of a confidence to kind of go, right, you know, I've been through this shit like way
Yeah.
worse. And even when I feel like I kind of tried, if the other lads ever had any bit of nerves or something, I'd be like, nah, we're gonna fucking smash this, like
Yeah.
fucking let's, you know what I mean? And that confidence I think comes from having gone through all of that. So I would say like I watched a podcast thing with Jocko Willing, and they was asking him about what it's like going to war and all this stuff, and he always says, and he said a couple of times, he says the same thing as what people go through cancer, like he wouldn't wish it on anybody, but sometimes it's the best thing that ever happened to you, like in
Yeah.
terms of just
Well, what you get out of it and how it helps you through life from that point.
yeah, absolutely that. Yeah, and so it's always it's like I only went through it last week, and then sometimes it's like I went through it 50 years ago. So
Yeah.
but it's always like a motivator, and it's always a good reminder. I've still got like because when they do the radiotherapy and stuff, they tattoo you with just like a single dot to target where the radiotherapy is, and I've not gotten that tattooed over, so I see that like every day sort of thing. I've made a point of keeping that bit clear on my arm and everything. So like yeah.
No, that's really interesting. And I guess it's kind of like people talk about survivor's guilt, from large events or something terrible. But it sounds like you've got a kind of a survivor's strength has sort of come out of this.
I had to go through the survivor's guilt.
That's
Like
interesting.
yeah, I definitely went through that. I like I've known a couple of people who were so there's a friend of mine. I went to his funeral about 2 months after I got my hair hadn't even grown back. Like after I'd finished my chemo, I went to his funeral. He passed away, and then and other stories. There's been other people that I've known who I was quite sort of who I had a lot of respect for, who have like passed away since, like of cancer and everything.
Yeah.
And definitely went through a massive survivor's guilt. And yeah, definitely went through that.
That's again, if it's the human mind though, isn't it? It's like you can't choose what you feel. You
Yeah.
can't. You're just left with it, and you have to figure out how to deal with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And like even up until recently, like if I ever saw, there was do you remember the TV series Spartacus?
Yeah, kind of vaguely. Yeah.
So the guy who played Spartacus in the first series of that,
Oh, he died.
yeah, and
Lymphoma. Yeah,
yes, it
I
was.
remember. He was fucking amazing. He was Australian.
Yep, yeah,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
they put his documentary series on Netflix for a bit, and I tried watching it one night, and I think within about 20 seconds I was just sobbing, like
Oh, mate.
it just kicked me right in the bollocks sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Cancer-free
And
bollocks.
yeah, cancer-free bollocks. But I'm not there anymore. Like it's still I'm not there anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And excuse me, but I'd imagine it's like that was just too much. It was just like, yeah, right, okay, don't need to go. Actually, don't need to watch this. Don't need to go back there.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I think people like my friends and my family and stuff are still really good. Like if anything like that comes on and they're like, are you sure you're okay watching this? I'm like, I'm good now. Like I'm good. Yeah.
That's nice though. That's
Yeah.
nice. And I can just imagine the first time that somebody made a joke at your expense or somebody like cracked a joke about cancer or something and then like realized you were in the room or something like that. Or just like had to test the water with you. That must have been interesting.
It was well, so
I'm laughing because he was smiling all the way through that
yeah.
and nodding. So I'm looking forward to this.
Well, I worked in a prison when I got. I think we used to talk about it at the time. I worked in a prison when I got diagnosed. And prison staff have got possibly the most horrendous sense of humor you could ever
Yes.
imagine.
It's gallows humor, isn't it, really?
Oh yeah.
Got to get through the day.
Yeah, it's rotten gallows humor. It's gallows that are on fire humor.
Yeah.
Get through the day though, and so there wasn't a point where people were nervous about making jokes about it. It was literally I literally came in to the office because obviously at the time they knew I was taking a lot of time out to have loads of tests and scans, and I didn't tell them what it was. And so when I eventually told them what it was, like I think it was immediately they were just ripping the shit out of me for it. Like there was
Brilliant.
the same way that you're like when you're playing football and you fumble the ball and go, you fucking idiot. It was that
Yeah.
type of thing, like
Yeah.
fucking idiot, where are you getting cancer for you? And all this stuff. So it was
Brilliant.
immediate, and that was the best thing that could have happened. Was
Yeah.
straight away. At the
And
same
is it the same? Is it the same afterwards? Because, like you were saying, like people are like, "Are you good with that?" It's like, was there a sort of moratorium amongst your mates or anything like that? Or how did it work?
Well, I
Or did
remember.
everybody just make jokes at your expense all the time?
Yeah, it was constant. It was fucking constant. To the point where I went back in when I'd been given the all clear. I went into work and I went to see everyone and I said, "Oh, everyone, just want to kind of let you know I've got the all clear." And straight away, one of the prison staff went, "For fuck's sake, Dan, I had my name on your boots." So there was like I was like coming into work like a little every so often when I was like not like just to kind of break it up, and I'd go and sit down and they'd like putting sticky notes on my backpack and stuff like that, going, "I'll have that when he's gone," and
Oh
it was
man,
yeah. So
brilliant,
that was it
brilliant.
was, but it was the best thing that could have happened.
Yeah,
That type of humor just completely got me through it, got my family through it as well. Yeah, especially like my dad. He like to the point where he's like, I need to meet them all, and he went I bumped into a couple of them in town with my dad and stuff, and he made a point of shaking their hands and stuff, just saying thank you for being who you were through all of that. So
yeah.
yeah,
Oh, that's awesome. That's
yeah,
awesome.
I still
And
get ripped for it now, but
well, that yeah, I bet that yeah, stupid question to ask in the first place, wasn't it?
yeah.
Um, it reminds me of when you say like that type of humor. A friend of mine worked on oil rigs off the coast of Canada for 5 years, and he said it's exactly the same out there. You know, you're in a harsh environment, away from everyone, everything. And your job is fucking horrific. And first day there, they were like, "Oh, what's your name? Jim." Right, okay. You know, this is your bunk, blah, blah, blah. Right. They're out working. And it's just small talk, trying to find out who he is about him. His first day on the rig. What football team do you support? Manchester United. Oh, right. And you're from there, are you? Yeah. Oh, right. From now on, you're called Leeds. and, and they never called him Jim from that moment ever again. They just called him Leeds. On the rig, off the rig, in the street, Leeds for
Brilliant.
5 years.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
it's
fucking
brilliant.
brilliant.
Yeah.
But it has to get you through. It has to get you through. And
Yeah.
and the thing, getting back to being on the road as well, you can end up having such a fucking laugh just trying to amuse yourselves, because it can get really fucking boring, because
Yeah.
it's hurry up and wait is the name of the game all the
Yeah.
time.
Mm.
You know, when's loading? 3 o'clock. You'll pile down there for 3 o'clock. When's our sound check? 5:45.
Yep.
And we're here for 3 o'clock because
Well, our loading was at 1 o'clock, and I think,
where
excuse me,
was
we did
that? Were you doing a
everywhere,
matinee?
every day. Every day was 1 o'clock.
Oh, of course. Yeah, right. Okay. So yeah.
So, and I think we didn't end up sound checking while 4 or 5 o'clock most nights.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you say, hurry up and wait. So yeah, that was
Yeah.
the routine, was loading, go and find a pub. But again though, like Jim and the drummer Shep are such a double act, and like it's a shame Phil, like I was covering for Phil, the guitarist, but when they're all together, like I was just in hysterics every day, just watching these guys. They've all been in the band for years. They know each other so well, and
Yeah.
yeah, just hysterics. It was just, yeah, there was, especially the first night we was driving back from Manchester, and I can't remember the last time I laughed that hard that I wasn't making any noise.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because there
Yeah.
was, yeah,
You can't breathe. You can't get
yeah,
air in. You can't get air
yeah,
out. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome,
And
man.
yeah, I've been out with them since, and Phil as well just adds to it, and
Yeah.
it's not that the other lads are not funny as well. Like we all had a great laugh, but just them guys in particular, just absolutely hysterical, so funny.
It sounds like you had a brilliant time, man.
Yeah, it was great.
And I remember the very last time we spoke on the podcast, and you were saying that you were a bit disappointed. You tried to play guitar, and you felt like you'd lost your chops a bit. You tried to play along with Master of Puppets, and you basically couldn't. I presume you've made a full recovery.
Not quite.
Really?
Yeah, I still wouldn't consider myself the guitar player I used to be.
Is that just in your head though?
Maybe, I don't know. I think part of the reason I think that I think that is like even playing with 13 and everything, and like we get to a point maybe 2/3 of the way through a 13 set and my hands are just cramped, just absolutely cramped up.
Right.
So I mean, I probably could spend more time practicing, and I've never been one for warming up, because like when 13 first started, if you ever went to a gig and there was a guitarist there warming up, you just thought he was a fucking knobhead. Like, warming up, who the fuck do you think you are? Like,
Oh, dude,
but
times a million when you're a singer.
yeah,
Hey, have you heard that? You should hear me now, honestly. Yeah,
yeah.
like
So
like a choir. So I know what you mean, but I tell you what, if you start warming up,
yeah, it'll probably
you'll
make a difference.
if you start warming up, the reason your hands are cramping is because you didn't warm up in the first place. That's
Yeah,
literally, you get that circulation flowing before the set, and it will keep flowing all the way through it.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, I'm still not as precise as I used to be.
Right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm better than I was. Like, it's definitely improved since the last time we spoke. But yeah, still not 100% compared to where I was.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, that could also partly just be because I'm not as active as I used to be as well. Like when like before all of that stuff happened, like up from being 18 to 20, how was that, 25, 26 when I got diagnosed. I think it was just after my 26th birthday, so maybe stopped gigging when I was 25. And we were just gigged constantly because we were still that band where we thought we need to be gigging constantly to make sure somebody pays attention to us. So
Yeah.
it was constant. I didn't have a partner or anything like that, so I had the spare time to devote to it and everything. So that
Yeah.
probably all plays a factor as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Life gets in the way, mate.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
absolutely, yeah, it's just one of those things. But you're happy with where you are. You're at the level that you're at.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I'm like at one point, especially when I was in Re-Animator and stuff, and like at one point I was almost I don't want to say slagging myself out a little bit, like I was like, so like I'd be playing Re-Animator, I had my own band, and then there was another band in Hull who asked me to do like a guitar solo for them. I think there was
Mm,
another band who asked me to do a gig singing for them and stuff. So I was like getting about everywhere a bit, um I kind of feel like I'm getting back to that a little bit as well. I like, as much, it's good to have my own music as an outlet and everything, but then it's also good to kind of mix things up with other bands too. So I'm quite happy with it, and I'll take all the opportunities that come my way, really.
so that was an advert from Dan there, in case you missed it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Will fill in for food.
Yeah. Are you even just a pint? Just a pint will do. I'm quite cheap.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Um, and speaking of which, so um, are you are you writing? Are you working on new 13 material? Is that in the works?
Yeah. So when the first lockdown kicked in and obviously wasn't going out anywhere, like saving a bit of money and everything. So I spent a little bit of money just getting like a home, like a bedroom sort of recording sort of equipment together. The guy that we used to record our albums with, he emigrated to Canada, and we're not like at a level where we could travel and stay out of town for long. But then I was like, I don't know who else in Hull we would even ask. So I was like, I'm going to try and teach myself how to record and write and stuff. So that's been my project for the past couple of years. And I'm far from an expert, and it's still just like bedroom equipment and stuff. So like
Yeah.
I'm not. But just that DIY thing again, I liked the idea of just being able to kind of write and release stuff whenever we're ready. So we've got plenty of songs that just need finalizing, and then I can chuck them out. So even if we're not gigging as much, we're doing other stuff.
That's brilliant. That's
Yeah,
brilliant. Because it's
yeah.
about time. I mean, how long is it since that last album now?
2018 it was.
Right.
Yeah, we
Okay.
we actually
Yeah,
started
because it
writing.
came out after the tour we did, didn't it? After
Yes.
because we did the tour in 2017 together, and then yeah, your album came out the following year.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 it was. So yeah, yeah, plenty of stuff kind of in the works. It just needs to be finalized, which I suppose is it's one of my. I'm really good at starting projects, not so good at finishing them. But
I know what you mean, mate. I know what you mean, and I've got a few friends who are similar, and it's like a mate of mine who would start filming, and he's filmed God knows how many short films, but hates editing.
right.
And I was like, what you? And it was like, just get a fucking editor, just get an editor.
Yeah.
You know, and that way all of this gets finished. You know.
Mm. Yeah.
And it's like, but of course that costs money, and you know, if it's not money, you need to try and find somebody. If you find somebody and they're willing to do you a favor, they're going to do you a favor in their spare time, and you want them to do it in the spare time because they're busy, because they're good. So it's great, but they've offered to do it as a favor, so you can't bug them, because you can't bug somebody who's offered to do you a favor. Can you do that favor now then?
Yeah.
So then you're on some unknown fucking timeline, you know, and it's like, oh fucking hell, what do I do? It's like now he's not finishing it. You know, instead of me, it's even worse.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
maybe it's the creative's case, maybe.
well, it is, because I think it's natural that you want to try and have control over as much of it as possible, because it's your creation. You know, and it's like, you speak to any band about like the shittest things that have happened to them in their career, obviously apart from, you know, physical injury, deaths, etc., but like career wise. And they'll always be like, well, the time that, you know, the label put that out without telling us, or do you see the fucking album cover on that album? Do you see the artwork on that album cover? We didn't sign that off, or that was our concept, but look what happened to it. You know, everybody wants to be all over it.
Yeah.
Because it's deeply personal, because it's, you know, it's a little slice of you each song, you know. And so, yeah, we get a bit leery, don't we? We get a bit hands-on.
Absolutely. But yeah, so that's kind of the idea, is just to kind of start getting our stuff out there again, and yeah, just see what happens from there, really.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, look, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on again.
Same.
And you just really, and I'd say on behalf of all of the listeners as well, welcome back. Don't leave us long next time, and just
thank you.
You know, glad you're back healthy and well.
Yeah, thank you. And I don't know whether or not I got a chance to say it before, but for anybody who was listening, H used to kind of pass me on messages and stuff from people who had listened, and they were just always like so decent and like just lovely messages of support. So like, if you have listened to any of these, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And I can't thank you enough as well for having me on these, because it's just awesome to kind of chat to you. You're all right most of the time.
Yeah, just not when you're on the road. But look, it's a pleasure having you on here, and you know what, you've reminded me about some of those messages as well, and yes, thank you to everybody who did either message me or message Dan direct. You're a decent lot. It's nice to know you're out there.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you all, and thank you as well.
Oh, my pleasure, mate.